Why is it that the very thing we crave the most, deep human connection, is often the thing that terrifies us the most? We're social creatures, wired for connection, and yet many of us live like islands, surrounded by people, but fundamentally disconnected. We want to be seen, but we're scared to be known. We want to be loved, but we're petrified of being hurt. Have you ever found yourself profoundly lonely, yet the moment someone tries to get close to you, you find yourself building a wall? If you feel like you're starving for community, but you're keeping your guard up so high that no one can reach you, stay with me. Today we aren't talking about just putting yourself out there. We're talking about why it hurts to get close and how to find the warmth you need without getting stung by the thorns of the world. Today we're exploring a classic psychological metaphor called the Hedgehog Dilemma. By the end of this video, you will understand the mechanics of human intimacy, why it feels like a battlefield, and why your instinct to withdraw is a natural defense mechanism. You're going to gain a high-level perspective on how to balance a need for connection with the necessity of self-protection. We're moving beyond the happily ever after version of relationships and examine how we share our lives without losing our souls. If you're struggling with high-functioning anxiety or the fear of intimacy and you feel like the closer you get to someone, the more you want to run away and protect yourself, then this video is for you. In the arts, intimacy is our currency. We have to trust our partners with our physical safety and our emotional vulnerability every single night. But I've noticed the very people who can be most authentic on stage often struggle the most to be intimate in real life. For over 40 years, from my Alvin Ailey dancing days to authoring the dance manual for The Lion King, I've worked with thousands of artists and high achievers. I'm going to share a very personal story about my own struggle with inward bonding, how I could share with an audience of 3,000 people, but couldn't connect with a person across the dinner table. And later, I'll give you 3 practical tools to help you navigate your own hedgehog spines so you can find the perfect distance for connection. Because walking with lions means understanding that vulnerability is a risk, but isolation is a slow death. Welcome to Season 5 of Roar. When we try to get close to someone, our brain scans every betrayal, every prick we've ever felt, and it screams at us to move back. This brings us to the Hedgehog Dilemma, a concept popularized by the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer and later adopted by Sigmund Freud. Schopenhauer imagined a group of hedgehogs on a freezing winter day. They're cold, so they move together for warmth. But as they get closer, their sharp spines begin to prick one another. To avoid the pain, they move apart. But then they grow cold again, and the cycle repeats. Sound familiar? The dilemma is this: how do you get close enough to feel the heat without bleeding from the quills? I lived this dilemma for decades. On the surface, I'm an open book. I'm authentic and expressive, and as a dancer with Alvin Ailey, I was trained to use my vulnerability as a tool for art. I exposed the deepest parts of myself on stage. When the curtain went up, I could show the world my grief, my joy, and my deepest secrets through movement. But that was outward expression. I found that easy, and I loved doing it. I lived to do it. On stage, that is safe intimacy. There's a barrier. There's the proscenium, the front of the stage, the audience. There's that wall there. They call it the fourth wall, in fact. It feels open and exposed, and it is, but it's also a safe space to be your pure and most raw, vulnerable self. When it came to inward bonding, the kind of intimacy that requires you to let someone see the unpolished, unchoreographed, unrehearsed version of you, I was a hedgehog with the sharpest quills in the forest, and they're long. Stay over there. Stay over there. I had survived trauma as a child. I've been bullied and teased. My somatic markers told me that close equaled pain. And for many of us, maybe for you, that's true. Although I was in a loving community, I became the master of minimum safe distance. I would be the most charming, collaborative person in the room, but I wouldn't let anyone truly in. I was staying warm through professional success and the applause of the crowd, but I was still psychologically freezing because I was terrified of getting stung. Psychologically, the Hedgehog's Dilemma reveals that the closer two people become, the more likely they are to hurt each other. Not necessarily out of malice, but simply because we all have spines. We have different needs, different traumas, and different ways of reacting to stress. If this is hitting home for you, if you recognize your own spines or the way you've been pricked in the past, or keep people at a minimum safe distance, please hit that like and subscribe button. We're building a tribe that's learning how to huddle together safely. One planet, one tribe, no spines. At the end of this deep dive, I'm going to give you a tool called the intimacy audit that will help you figure out if your quills are protecting you or just keeping you cold. We often mistake distance for dislike, but Schopenhauer argued that the most successful hedgehogs are the ones who find the moderate distance. This is what we call healthy boundaries. It's not about becoming smooth, spineless creatures. It's about learning how to retract your quills when needed and how to position yourself so that your partner's quills don't hit a vital organ. I had to learn this in my various leadership positions. My natural personality was one of the gang, but I was a supervisor. And if I got too close, I lost my perspective. If I stayed too far, I lost trust. I had to find that moderate distance, the space of mutual respect where warmth could flow, but the quills of ego and hierarchy stayed in check. How do you walk with a line of vulnerability when you've been pricked so many times? How do you find the warmth without bleeding? Here are 3 actionable tools to help you navigate the Hedgehog's Dilemma. The spine audit. Identify your defense mechanisms. Before you can get close to someone, you have to know what your quills look like. In your journal, write down how you push people away when you feel threatened. Do you use sarcasm? Do you go silent? Do you start over-functioning to keep them at a distance? Sometimes I think my workaholism, the always doing something, is partly due to me wanting to keep people at a minimum safe distance. Even now, I'm working on it, but that is something I am aware of. I've made a life that's very difficult to get close to people. I can be very intimate like this, but in real life, I can be distant. And I know this, I work on it. This channel is about self-reflection, self-awareness, and realizing how you interact with people and how that impacts your life and theirs. Just being transparent. Labeling these behaviors as spines allows you to see them as a protective tool and not part of your core identity. This awareness gives you the choice to lower your quills when you want to. Practice incremental proximity, the 5-minute huddle. Don't try to go from ice queen to deep intimacy in one day. Not gonna happen. Identify one person you want to be closer to and offer a micro moment of vulnerability. Share one small thing that made you anxious today or one hope you haven't said out loud. Notice how they respond. Do they prick you or do they offer you warmth back? This is how you test and measure and push the distance. Establish the warmth baseline. Core values alignment. The only way to stay warm in a cold world is to find hedgehogs who share your internal temperature. Use your core values as a filter for intimacy. If your core value is integrity and the person you're trying to get close to is inconsistent, their spines will always prick you. Stop trying to huddle with people whose quills are designed to hurt. Seek connection with those who value the same heat, connection, respect, authenticity. Fear of intimacy isn't a flaw. It's a survival instinct, and you need it. Be thankful for your quills. The goal of a relationship isn't to become one person, but to find the perfect distance where you can share warmth while respecting each other's boundaries. Mastering this balance prepares you for the most beautiful part of being broken. In our next episode, we're going to explore the art of the golden scar. It'll be here when it's posted. We'll look at the Japanese philosophy of kintsugi and learn how to take the places where you've been pricked, stung, and broken and turn them into the most valuable parts of your masterpiece. Your heart is the ultimate art to protect. Don't be afraid of the quills. You're gonna get stung. Just find the people with quills you can manage safely and lovingly. One planet, one tribe, one world, one love. I'll see you there.